In October of 1871, people went to bed under a red sky and woke up to a world in flames. A spark struck without warning in a small barn on D. Coven Street. Wooden homes ignited in seconds. Church bells rang so often that they eventually collapsed into the heat. Within 30 hours, 4 square miles of the city were gone. What people didn't realize at the time was that they were witnessing the most destructive fire in American history, one that would leave 100,000 people homeless and permanently reshape the modern skyline. This was the Great Chicago Fire, and once it began, there was no escape. To understand the devastation that followed, we must first understand the height from which humanity fell. The mid-19th century was the apex of Chicago's growth, a period of remarkable stability, population explosion, and interconnectedness that the American West had never seen. Thanks to its location as the focal point of the nation's commerce, 18 trunk lines of railroads and 20 miles of lake dockage thundered through the night. The city was a vibrant, chaotic, densely packed hive of human activity. The Queen of the West felt closer to the future than any other city in America. But this success was a double-edged sword. The same timber and ambition that built the city were about to deliver the greatest catastrophe in its history. The infrastructure for disaster was perfectly laid out. Miles of wooden sidewalks, pine-shingled roofs, and warehouses filled with kindling. This society, seemingly so robust, was about to face an enemy it could not see, could not understand, and could not fight. Just 24 hours before the spark, a man named George Francis Train stood on a stage and prophesied, "A terrible calamity is impending over the city of Chicago. More I cannot say. More I dare not utter." The origin of the apocalypse lay in a humble barn behind the home of Catherine O'Leary. Whether it was a cow kicking over a lantern, as Mrs. O'Leary allegedly admitted to an insurance man, or a horrid error by the watchman, the result was a fatal delay. A watchman named Matt Sheffer signaled the wrong location from the courthouse tower, and when he realized his mistake, the dispatcher stubbornly refused to correct the alarm. Climate historians point to a period of ecological stress, an unusually dry summer that turned the city into a tinderbox. Driven by fire devils, self-generating whirls of flame, the blaze migrated across fences and rooftops with hurricane force. The first victims likely didn't understand what was happening until the heat arrived and everything changed. News of the disaster traveled fast, but the fire traveled faster than the alarms could spread. The geographical pivot point of this history is the Chicago River. For years, citizens believed the river would be a natural barrier, but the unbreakable fortress was breached from within. A kerosene tank car exploded near the riverbanks, sending brands of fire into the air like snowflakes made of fire, igniting the north side in minutes. Panic gripped the streets. The terror of contagion was so great that the most sacred bonds of humanity were severed. Survivors describe a social collapse similar to the accounts of Boccaccio, fathers pulling children from sleep, and vandals looting department stores for silks and oil paintings. Thieves were seen hurling fabrics from windows to accomplices on the crackling sidewalks, while some men charged $150 just to carry a family to the lakefront. A heavy, oppressive silence was broken only by the roar of the flames and the cries of those who believed God was punishing the city. When the fire finally began to die, aided by a merciful rain, it revealed a continent transformed. The immediate aftermath was economic chaos. But then something remarkable happened. The Great Recovery began. Before the ruins were even cold, William D. Kerfoot nailed a sign to a wooden shanty that read, "All gone but wife, children, and energy." The rigid structures of the old city broke, and a new generation of architects like William LeBaron Jenney emerged to build the first skyscrapers, including the Home Insurance Building. They built the Rookery, where an old water tank once stood, and replaced timber with stone and steel. The Great Chicago Fire was the greatest trauma the city ever endured. It shattered the optimism of the era and proved the fragility of human systems against the power of nature. In the end, the path of death cleared the ground for the slow emergence of the modern metropolis, a city that phoenix-like rose statelier than ever. Anyways, I'm Miles, watching the past so we can understand the present, and together we keep history reborn. Hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next era.